Hey, Nick. Can you
What?
hear me? Can you hear me?
You suck.
Can you hear me?
You are the worst.
Nick can't hear people, so this is going to be a lot of fun today, baby. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, the Dork Shared Gooniverse and Geeks Worldwide Radio proudly presents to you the greatest podcasting team in the world. He's a deaf guy, Nick Friar. I'm Backcracker, Dr. Joe. Together, we are the TLDR Comic Book Club, baby. Nicholas, how you doing?
I thought you were going to start turning this into an ASMR episode or something to that degree. I was that was not ready for that off the rip. You're also a dick. I just would like to remind the people of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I am doing just fine in dandy, Joe. Our March Madness has come to an end. Doesn't mean that we're going to stop there. Obviously, I think everybody knows that by now. But if you're new to the show, maybe you haven't caught any of our recent interviews because you can't just find those on Twitter. You can't find much of anything on Twitter these days, it seems like. Make sure you follow us on Instagram if you guys haven't already. Same handle over there. And we're on TikTok too. Joe posts our videos over there. But more importantly, follow us on our audio channels because that is the only place you're going to hear our Friar side chats. That was our March Madness this year. Probably something we'll try and do again next year around March Madness because we ain't doing fucking brackets. We haven't done one of those drafts in a while, Joe, which were a lot of fun. I know you and I have been too busy to do that, but that's the most maddening thing that I think we'll do at any point. But
maybe a manga madness next year.
That would be that would be fun. You can do all the bracketing and the voting for that. I ain't doing shit.
No, we'll just do manga books.
See, not a bad idea. Look at that. But our March Madness for 2023 consisted of talking to Cullen Bunn, talking to Bartosz Stibber, who was the latest one. And actually, he has a book coming out this week, as does John Lees this week. We will talk about both of those a little bit later on. But make sure you go subscribe to the audio channels. It's the only place you can catch those Friar side chats. Subscribe, leave a rating and review. 5 stars only on the ratings. Otherwise, you're going to learn the real meaning of Backcracker, and it is not great, everybody. But let's get to catching up, Joe. What have you been reading since we last convened?
So a couple titles I wanted to catch up on. So I caught up on King Spawn. I read the last issue, issue 20, because issue 21 drops this week. Or the first week of April, I should say. I read Ghost Rider issue 12 because, again, I was an issue behind, and that drops this week as well. And then I read the conclusion to Star Wars: The High Republic, The Blade, issue 4.
Oh, okay. Yep. So this was the finale. Okay, so general thoughts on it? Because I know you said it's not necessarily TLDR worthy, but it was solid.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. It's going to continue on. It's going to, the main character is going to continue on in a different series coming out, I think, next month. But it was good. It was what it was. It was a good Star Wars story that didn't revolve around the Skywalkers or it was great. It was a nice sort of some original characters or at least original characters to me, ones that I wasn't familiar with at the very least, but nice. It was good. So yeah, I enjoyed that. If you're a Star Wars fan, I recommend it.
Nice. Okay, cool. As for me, the only thing that I caught up on is the Magic Order Volume 4, Issue 3. So now I am all caught up completely on the Magic Order. This is, of course, the Mark Millar series. Must read stuff. Absolutely love it. I actually had read the first 2 trades and then talked about it on the show, and I read those on Hoopla. I have since purchased all 3 of the collected editions that we have so far. I don't know if I'm going to get the 4th and I have all the single issues now, but either way, must read stuff there. What?
Oh, before we go on, I want to anyone that backed John Lees's The Sink on Kickstarter, if you depending on what tier you bought, if your tier included digital copies, those dropped today. I got that in my email.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't read it yet. Yep. So definitely peep your inboxes for that. I can't wait to pun intended dig into it. It should be a lot of it should really scare the shit out of me.
That's one I cannot. Sometimes I like to hold off until the weekend to read certain things. We only get review copies usually like on Friday. Some people do it a little bit earlier in the week. I'm going to be around my nephews and niece this week. I can't wait that long because
Yeah.
they see me reading that. It's going to give them nightmares real quick.
Yeah, that's not good. And who was the fucking genius to decide let's fucking book the Masters on Easter weekend?
Oh
You
yeah.
fucking kidding me? It'll be my parents' house. You know what? It's gonna be hard to put on the TV. Golf.
Was your parents even really? If it was my parents,
They no, God no. God no. I can get away with putting the Patriots on during Thanksgiving or the Celtics or the Bruins, typically the Celtics, Christmas or Bruins,
Mhm.
whatever, but like I go, "Oh, can I put the Masters on?" I'm going to get fucking stared at and be like, "No, I don't think. No, no, no."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Well, thoughts and prayers for Joe, of
T's and
course.
P's. Need them T's and P's.
Let's get to the books that are coming out this week. Of course, we have our April solicit, but still, we always start out with the books coming out in the first week of the month. This week, kick us off with Marvel.
Okay, so we have the week of April 5th from Marvel. We have The Amazing Spider-Man issue 23. We have Venom issue 18, Wolverine issue 32, Spider-Man issue 7, Star Wars issue 33, Scarlet Witch issue 4, Immoral X-Men issue 3. I feel like this comes out like every other week. I feel like, we're already on issue 3 and it feels like it just dropped yesterday.
Yeah, it's been one thing. Like, every week is an issue of the Sins of Sinister event.
Yeah. So then we have Captain America Sentinel of Liberty issue 11. We have Rogan Gambit issue 2. Star Wars Hidden Empire issue 5. Cosmic Ghost Rider issue 2. Joe Fix It issue 4. Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones issue 2. We have the Avengers War Across Time issue 4. And I Am Iron Man issue 2. And the
You are?
lone I am, you are, we are. I scream,
Come
you
on.
scream, we all scream for. Shut up, Nick. And a rarity from Marvel this week, we have Planet of the Apes issue 1. We only have one number 1 this week, and that is, like I said, Planet of the Apes issue 1, written by David Walker with art by Dave Wachter.
And then we have the one book that I want to talk about this week from Marvel that we both read is Ghost Rider issue 13. When we had Benjamin Percy on, it was around this time last year, because Ghost Rider started around this time last year, maybe a little bit further back, maybe more towards like February-ish, I think. But he had told us, he's gonna come in hot because Ghost Rider usually only lasts so long. This is the start of the third arc, so longer, I think, than he anticipated to get to. But of course, he had stories in the hopper. He had mentioned this character that's been thrown into the mix, Danny Ketch. So it's cool to see how Ben's trying to approach that character. The biggest thing for me, though, Joe, coming out of this issue, without getting too much into the specifics, because it's the ending that really knocked my socks off. It was so metal what happens with Johnny Blaze at the end of this issue, and I absolutely loved it. Again, like a great issue all around, but Ben tends to have like these moments where it's just like he fucking knows Ghost Rider so well, and I absolutely love what he has done with this character. I know we say it pretty much every month, but this is another great issue. If you're not reading Ghost Rider, and again, if you haven't read a lot of Ghost Rider previously, that's okay. Get on this. Pick up the first trade. The second trade is coming out this month, I believe, as well, Joe, if I'm not mistaken. You found that out in your research for this episode, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes.
And but yeah, to talk about the issue, it was so good. I mean, I love the team, the creative team on this, and the art again was.
Smith, yeah.
You want to talk about melt your face off, man.
Yeah.
This it was really fucking good, and I've never given a shit about Ghost Rider before, but now I am so in, and it feels like this arc won't be the last arc, right? You just feel like we're gonna keep going here for a little bit, and I'm all for it.
And actually, looking at the cover arts too, so Corey Smith is the penciler, and then Oren Jr. is the inker. And Corey Smith's been doing a lot of the line art for this series. Awesome stuff from him. Bjorn Bardens is the cover artist for this issue. And this is a gnarly cover too. And Bardens actually Barons, excuse me. Did quite a few covers for Spawn stuff too. I think Spawn and Gunslinger and The Scorched. So love his work too. It's like totally. That's the kind of artist you should be getting for Ghost Rider stuff, is someone who also can do Spawn stuff to it. They're right in that same like general realm of like not necessarily theme, but of tone. So love this cover. Awesome issue. Ghost Rider continues to be must read stuff. As for DC, we got Batman 134, which Joe is reading, Poison Ivy 11, which I am reading. Again, I talked about that series a while back on the show, really enjoying that. Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, issue 6. Adventures of Superman, John Kent, issue 2, which Doc is reading. The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue 7. The Flash, 796. Fables, 158. And of course, everybody's favorite, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, 121.
Yeah. I was flipping through HBO Max and I found the old school Scooby-Doo. So I've been watching them. It's great.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic. So from Image, the first week of April, we have Saga issue 63. Nightclub issue 4, written by Mark Millar, which I absolutely love. Love Everlasting issue 6. Radiant Pink issue 4. Kaya issue 7. Hell to Pay issue 4. Savage Dragon issue 265. Blood Tree issue 3. Flawed issue 6, which we talked to
you got to get yourself out of this one because I'm drawing a blank too.
Yeah.
Chuck Brown?
Chuck Brown, yes. Who we had on the show a while ago to talk about this when it first came out. It was a great issue. Almighty issue 3. We have a couple of number ones, but before we get to that number one, the book we want to talk about this week from Image is King Spawn issue 21. Holy shit. All caught up because I'm reading this and I go, what the fuck is going on? And I go, Joseph, go back and read the last issue, dumbass. Which I fucking loved. And then we get into this, and man, from where this book started to where we are now, and all the twists and turns, like, man, it's like we talk about, like, as I mentioned with Ghost Rider, right? The creative team firing on all cylinders. Same thing here, right? The artist, the writer, with Sean, we've gotten more Terry than I ever would have imagined, and he's been such a great character in this series. But there were some moments with Spawn, and and the brains and the dogs.
Yep.
I don't know why. That was fucking awesome. Disgusting, but fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like, it just, there was something about this issue. I don't know, like, it was just really fucking good. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, there's one thing that Sean seems to do a really good job with is like knowing when to give you a ton of Spawn and then give you just enough. Don't get me wrong, like I always want as much Spawn as I can get in a story, but at the same time, when you we step away from the character and utilize some of the others, obviously Sam and Twitch are at the center of things right now too. Characters, that've been around since the start of Spawn, and of course Terry, same thing. But yeah, it's like Sean's done a really good job of utilizing the other characters at his disposal as well. I agree with you 100%. And this issue is like we get quite a bit of Spawn early, then a little bit late, but then there's like that pause in between, like when are we going to get more of Spawn, and he knows like exactly how to, like, when to pull them from you and then when to give them back.
Yeah, Javier.
I was gonna get I was like, you gotta be kidding me, Javi too.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm having an old man kind of day today. I don't know what it is. Brain is mental tapioca, but what I think what I've loved about this, the last few issues, and just in general, I've talked about this with see, I'm fucking doing it again. The new Superman by Joshua Williamson, right? Like, I love what he's been doing with the villains. I love what Sean's been doing with the villains, with the antagonists, from the very get-go, to now, and what you're getting with Exodus and it's like, it's just so good because the stakes always seem to be really fucking high. And they're like, you want to absolutely hate the villains. You want them to be loathsome and deplorable, and just like, you want them to be a little smart but not too smart, right? Because then I think, like, sometimes I I have this issue when like the bad guys are always conveniently just one step ahead, right, for the purpose of sort of moving the story along. So I like them to be smart, but not too smart, right? But like that's I think that's what we're getting here, right? Is like we get this great chess match, but it never feels like any one side has the upper hand. It's just really good back and forth, really great storytelling. But like I love the villains that we're dealing with in this current arc.
I agree. And then to bring things back to Javi too, because you did mention him
Yeah.
before, like he draws like the individual Spawn so well. Like all his other
Oh,
art is really, everything that goes on with Sam in this issue is very well done. But I just like I love how he does the cape and he makes it so like
oh,
ridiculously gaudy and huge and everything. The chains mixing them in. The specific image too, where Spawn is like being cornered and he has the two brains in his hand, which is early on in the issue. Not a huge spoiler for you guys or anything, but I really like it's a small thing in the course of everything. Like, but I still like I absolutely love it. And even actually when he first pulls a brain out, like just him standing there, I love how he does his it's not a gauntlet, but like it's not you know what I'm talking about, whatever you
yeah, yeah.
call that on his wrist. Can't say wristband, I think it's huge. But also just wanted to mention too, the cover for this too was done by Mark Brooks and Jonathan Glapian, and this is a connecting cover. So Wanda looks outstanding, and also wanted to note too on the Spawn cover for those of you when you pick it up, the character on the top right, who I like, it looks like he has like it's a horned helmet, but like some mix of like Russian and like medieval like British like chainmail. I don't know, like I don't know who that character is. I love that look though. That character looks absolutely insane. So the connecting covers we've been seeing, I think Todd's been putting them out there quite a bit. And there's one for Gunslinger, there's one for Scorch. So these look awesome though. This is extremely well done.
Yeah, yeah. As you say with Javi too, like he finds a way to like make Spawn always seem massive. Even like we're
Mm,
familiar with the Javi pages, right? But even in the small panels when he's drawing Spawn always just feels, larger than life. And
mm-hmm.
it's fantastic. But yeah, the way he does his cape and all that shit, like I don't know. I love this fucking issue. It was really good.
Yeah, and then as for first issues this week, we actually got a little one-off from Mirka and Dolfo. She did a Sweet Paprika Black, White, and Pink, which has stories from her, Katana Collins, Stepan Sejic, and then and it's just like a collection of stories in the Sweet Paprika universe. So I'll be
Yeah, it's
checking
like your
this one out for
typical
sure.
black, white, and black, white, and blood that Marvel does, or same
Hmm.
vein, right? A little anthology book there.
Yeah, exactly. And then Junk Rabbit. I don't. You didn't mention this already, right?
No, I really want to try and read this one. I just didn't get a
Okay.
chance to it.
Okay, and that's by Jimmy Robinson. So yeah, give it a look and let me know. I'm curious where you stand, and obviously, if you want to call dibs, I understand. Because I was going to give this a look too. It sounded interesting. I didn't know how I felt about the art, like kind of just skimming through it before I.
Yeah, I got the same vibe too. Maybe that's why I moved on to
Mm,
read some other ones and tried to come back to it. But I'll definitely give it a look.
okay, if you decide not to, though, let me know, and I'll make sure that I prioritize doing that. Anyways, let's see. From Skybound, of course, Prince through Image, we got Stillwater issue 18.
Which
I
was the
hate.
finale?
Oh,
Yeah,
and any. Oh, and you didn't want
excellent.
to talk about it today?
Uh, again, I'm telling you, I've been having old man moments all goddamn day. I
Uh-huh.
think I think this is the beginning of the end for me. If we're being honest, like at your wedding, Nick, someone's gonna have to carry me down the aisle. Hold
Mm,
my arm.
mm.
I'm gonna be like Steve Rogers at the end of fucking Endgame. Uh,
Jeez.
but
Oh.
yeah, no, it's Stillwater. So I like going into. I was like, I think this is the last issue. Now this has also been a book too, where like the issues have been a little bit more spaced out.
Mm.
So I had a feeling this was going to be the last issue, but I couldn't remember or not. And then read it and go, yep, yep, that's the end. This was just an excellent series. I think it wrapped up very nicely. Chip did a great job. My Chip, telling this story start to finish, and you really get the sense that he ended it the way he wanted to end it, and this was sort of his plan, from the get go. And it was, I don't want to call it like it was an emotional, finale, or but it had, it had those great sort of human moments that Chip is so good at. So this was, if you haven't read Stillwater, do so, because it is a fucking excellent series.
And also, if you haven't read it, go back. Whether you have or haven't, go back and listen to the episode that Joe did on it. That was early on in our
Yeah.
show's history too. I think it was like among the first 10 books you talked about. But also from Skybound this week, we have "I Hate This Place" issue 7 and "The Walking Dead Deluxe" issue 60. Let's see. From Boom, we got Magic the Gathering issue 25, which is the final issue of that. I fell off on that one a while back. Mosley issue 3, which Joe is reading and has dibs on. And then we got a few Dark Horse books that we do want to talk about. Joe, why don't you take us through this?
Yeah, well, so we have so Koshi and Hell issue 4, Skull and Bones issue 2, and then the other two books you're reading one that you want to talk about were both. So the second book here, we thought it was supposed to drop last week. It's dropping this week.
Yeah.
And then we have a number one that I read. So I'll let you dictate the order there. Sir
Okay.
Nicholas.
I will give you a second to gather yourself, and I will go through the one that I have dibs on. Where Monsters Lie, issue 3. So I've been saying like this is an awesome series. Like the first 2 issues were great. Third issue, more of the friggin' same. It's so good, Joe. Kyle Starks and Peter Kowalski are the lead creative team on this, and colors is Vladimir Popov, and letters by Joshua Reed. And where the community has kind of gone nuts because now the police are getting involved and everything like that. And there's a lot of, you know what, the best way to put it is like there are serious consequences in this issue. So it's a great tone setter for this series. But this has already been like the first issue was really good. The second one is also very well done. But then we get to this one and it's like, okay, things are starting to get crazy. We have a lot of characters that we've been introduced to. You know, how many people continue to move forward? How many, like, what happens to them? What directions are they taking in? And it's like, it just, you get the feeling like it's not a lot of people are safe in this series. And pretty much no one feels safe. There's only a few that you could argue maybe, but even then, with this being the third issue and so much shit happening here, you just don't know going forward, which is great. So there's a lot of uncertainty. The only thing that is certain about this series is that it has been absolutely kick ass. And the last page of this too could absolutely be like a spoiler cover if they had wanted to do it. Like it's perfect. It is so good. So I cannot wait to talk about this when the first arc ends. I think it's after the 4th issue. Technically, it will be done. So I can't wait to talk about it so that way you can just get right into it because once you read the first issue, you're gonna be like, I hate you. I say that every time, but I really mean it.
I wasn't even given a fucking chance.
Nope.
With this one, so I'm looking forward to that. So then let's talk about The Witcher, and then we'll talk about the number one. So The Witcher, The Ballad of Two Wolves, issue 4, which is the finale to this series. Last week, we had Bartosz Stibber on to talk about this book and sort of all his Witcher books. The Fading Memories and Witch's Lament, which were both. I gotta pop some more ginkgo biloba.
What?
Yeah, ginkgo biloba. It's like it's an herb that you can take.
Oh.
It's supposed to help with memory.
All right.
That or
no one forgot that too.
That or almost copious amounts of cocaine, something to liven me up a bit. But we had him on. It was such a great conversation with him, and his love for The Witcher and our love for The Witcher. And so I thought this was another great arc by him. I love the way that it wrapped up. I love the art in this. We get some more Dandelion, singing his ballads, which was a great addition to this. But overall, like, again, if you're a fan of The Witcher, these, at least, I've only read, Bartosz's run on The Witcher. So, these 3 books are absolutely excellent. And I would give them to any, Witcher fan to read because they're great, original, unique stories. The pacing on them is fantastic. I mean, you could probably read all 3 volumes in one sitting. That's just how good they are.
And what was really cool too is when we talked to him. I think we mentioned this last time, but just the way that The Witcher is viewed in Poland is very interesting. Like getting an understanding from him too, just about how like the pressure that he has to deal with handling this character, and he's risen to the occasion. And then on top of that too, he's kind of taken like an old man Logan approach. And I didn't think about it like that when we talked to him, but it made perfect. Like I'm sorry, before we had talked to him, but once he said it, it's like, oh yeah, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. That's exactly what you're doing. So, and again, like you can read just Ballad of the Two Wolves, and that'd be the only thing that you read from Bartosz's run on The Witcher. We're not recommending you do that, but it is an option. It's very easy, very accessible for everybody. And when it comes to the finale too, did a really like kept us on our toes all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So without getting into spoilers, definitely some surprises along the way. But also really loved the art on this series too. Mickey Montelo as the he was the colorist and the line artist on this. And I think when we talked to Bartosz, he said that there's going to be more with Mickey, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not
Well,
necessarily with The Witcher, but in the Witcher universe.
yeah. Well, I see. I can't remember if it was the Witcher universe or it might have been a different project altogether.
Might be
But
right.
they're working together again,
Yeah.
and he's got this very comic book feel, if that makes sense, to his art, right? Where
Yeah.
it just, I don't know how to describe it other than that, but it's it's not like this hyper realistic art that we see
Mm.
from say Mike Diodato Jr. or the grittiness that we get from a Jason Shaw and Alexander, but it's just really good comic book art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it too, because there's got to be a better way to put this. But it's not. It is not cartoony either. I
Right.
guess but it's not like you wouldn't say like, oh, traditional, like old school. It's like more like the modern comic book art, like kind of what we see, like akin to some more of Marvel stuff. I would say
Yes.
that we
Yes.
see. But it's really really well done, quality, and definitely like he is a versatile artist that could go like he could help tell or tell quite a few different stories.
Hmm.
But would love to see him do more stuff with The Witcher. So quality ending there. If you can get all the single issues, go for it. Otherwise, the trade will I'm sure will be out in a few months. And then Joe, there was a first issue that came out from Dark Horse this week. I didn't look at who was writing it, and I should have. Shame on me. But I was like, what the hell is this book?
Yeah, when I saw it in the download folder, I was like, "Oh, I gotta read this." I didn't know who wrote it at first, but I was like, "I gotta just title alone, I gotta read it." So it's called Hairball, issue 1, written by Matt Kint with art by Tyler Jenkins. And so, I'm not familiar with Tyler Jenkins's art, but it's
Mm.
got sort of a Lemire feel to it.
Ah.
And the cover of it is great. It's sort of this just sort of light, lightish purplish sort of watercolor sort of cat on the cover. And I
Mhm.
was like, well, at the very least, I gotta read this for Violet, because it's two of her favorite things. And this is not a book I would recommend to any child. So I've read a whole bunch of Matt Kint's work, and enjoyed an awful lot of it, and this was no exception. This was sort of it had a creepy vibe to it, and it's going down sort of a nice little horror path.
Mm.
So quick synopsis. A young girl with a black cat begins to suspect the innocent beast is behind all her troubles. Her parents fighting, family plagues, and innumerable supernatural horrors. As she tries her best to rid herself of this creature, she discovers that maybe the cat is not evil after all, and a greater terror may be behind those horrific events harming her life.
Hmm.
So, for all of you who think that cats are assholes, this book will feed into that. Because there's some great artwork, in panels, I should say, that just sort of imply that the cat in this book is a real fucking dickhead. But so it sets things up really well. It's got some nice sort of macabre kind of moments to it, some spookiness to it. It isn't like wildly gory or anything horrific, but like it's going down that nice sort of horror storytelling path. And you've got this
Mm.
creepy little girl and her parents are so like just like the synopsis are always fighting. So I'm really intrigued, by where this book is going. And
Mhm.
it didn't like necessarily have that end of the issue. It dug its hooks into me, but it was very consistent throughout. Like the intrigue factor from page 1 to the last page
Nice.
was very consistent. So
Huh.
that piqued my interest
I like
of
that.
like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this. I want to see where it's going, kind of thing.
Yeah, when that happens too, it's a good like, as much as it's not like the hooks getting into you, it's like, "Oh, shit, it's done?" Like, it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't ready for that shit.
yeah.
Damn it."
Exactly.
So that is the useful tool as well, but so dibs or no?
Yeah, I'll take dibs.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Make sure you write it down. Don't forget.
I
But
will.
let me. um. Oh, that just reminded me. I have to. Spy Superb. That just finished up, so I got to talk about that on the show ASAP. That might be the next one I talk about if we don't do anything. If we don't have anything in the hopper, outside of our main line next week. But anyways, let's see. IDW. We got My Little Pony issue 11, Breath of Shadows issue 3, which Doc is reading. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, The Dog of War issue 1 by Mike Chen and Angel Hernandez. I don't think it's the umpire, but maybe
You
if they
know,
would, if it
I hope
was,
it's not because I don't want the book to suck.
yeah,
So
you know the art won't be consistent there. He's especially not good around the corners. Um, let's see. Then we got Vault. Joe, what is coming out from Vault this week?
so this week we have from Vault, friend of the show, first person to receive an honorary TLDR jacket
Yeah,
with a little Chucky patch on it.
yeah.
But no, we have The Nasty issue 1 by John Lees with art by George Campadeus. And we had John on a few weeks ago to talk about this book and all things Chucky and horror. And I even think we talked a little Winnie or Pooh, the horror movie,
Yeah,
like
we did.
Blood
That
Honey
was
or whatever
something.
the fuck it was. But
That was something. That was an interesting experience.
we talked about how much we love this book back then, and this is, I think John tweeted out the other day that the first printing is already sold out and it's going to second
Yes.
print, which is absolutely amazing. Sold
Hmm.
out before it even hit the shelves on New Comic Book Day. So I'm really, really happy for John. I think this book definitely is worth the hype. We both loved it. So 18-year-old Thumper Connell still has an imaginary friend, the masked killer from his favorite slasher film. Thumper is obsessed with horror and always has been. He fills his time with scary VHS rentals and hanging out with his fellow fans, the Murder Club. But everything changes when his local video shop acquires one of the notorious films known as Video Nasties. Films so scary they're the target of British Moral Decency League's crusade to ban them and burn them. But it's only a movie, right? It's all just imaginary, isn't it? So this is a great premise. The art's fantastic. The
Hmm.
storytelling's, fantastic. And we talked about it too, like with John, like with his books like Sink and Hotel and The Crimson Cage, and so like those all seem to be a bit more on the horrific side. And that's not a knock on this book because he's trying to do something a little bit differently. Like he's still
Hmm.
telling a good horror story here, but there is a little bit more. I want to say the characters are a little bit more, I think, grounded,
Hmm.
in this, and there's a little more levity
Hmm.
to it. But I love the way this first issue ended, and it definitely does its job of like, boom, hooks in, let's go, give me issue 2 now. So I'm looking forward to getting the next issue on this. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait another fucking month, but
Well, we have read the second issue already. It's the third
oh
issue we're waiting
Jesus,
for.
yes, the
Yeah.
third issue. See, I told
Yes.
you, I'm
Yes.
all over the fucking place.
I think the difference with this series versus
Sorry,
his other
John.
ones too is more so the relatability is that we
Yes,
get with these
yeah.
characters more than anything else. And and like you said, you did a great job, covering it all. The other thing I wanted to say, though, speaking of covering things, there's quite a few covers for this first issue, and as you mentioned, Joe, it's already sold out. So just make sure that when if you're looking to pick up the first issue of the Nasty and it wasn't on your pull list, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, make sure you get to your LCS as soon as it opens because you're probably not going to be able. There's probably not going to be too many of these available for everybody, and there are some Really awesome coverage here. Personally, I think the main one is the one that I want to get, and the Jason Sean Alexander one, which is the one that Joe tweeted out over on Instagram with our solicit. And but other than that, Joe, you did a great job talking about this series. It's I'm very excited for the third issue. We got to wait a little while for that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be worth the wait on our end. Anyways,
John, if you're listening and want to send it, I'll take it.
yeah, you can probably he'll do it for you. If there's anybody that's going to do it for you, I think it will be John Lees.
Yeah.
Just at the hope of giving you nightmares. I know there's one other book you want to talk about. Let me get into these other ones real quick before we do that. Ablaze, we got Traveling to Mars issue 5. Aftershock, we got Samurai Doggy issue 5, and then Comixology, we got Barnstormers issue 5, which is one of the Scottober series, one of the ones that Joe has dibs on. Then we look to Scout, and we have Eternus issue 4, Kitsune issue 2, and there's a couple of first issues, one in particular that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we don't mention Scout on here a whole ton,
Mm-hmm.
but like they had a ton of number ones coming out this week. But this one, I'll read the other ones out real quick. So we have All the Devils Are Here, issue 1, written by Jared Lujan with art by Matt Harding.
Mm-hmm.
And we have The Shepherd, The Tether, issue 1, written by Andrea Molinari with art by Roberto Molinari. I wonder if they're related to the golfing twins, the Molinaris. Anywho, the book I wanted to mention real quick, because I saw this, I go, oh, this is fucking awesome. Codename Ric Flair, issue 1, written by James Hike the third and Raphael Huck and
No,
Raphael. Oh, fuck you, Nick. And Raphael Lori. I can't pronounce that.
Omaha.
Yeah. Omaha. I'm trying to say this guy's fucking name right, Nicholas, and you're being an
Raphael
absolute...
Lorero.
Thank you. I'm glad you sounded like an idiot trying to pronounce it too. All right.
I think I got it right. Sorry, Raphael.
Yeah. We apologize. Our deepest apologies. Really, I really do hate butchering people's names. But codename Ric Flair, issue 1. I saw this and I said, "Oh, I gotta fucking read that." And you want to talk about covers? There's some great covers here, but the synopsis is what sold me, and it goes a little something like this: the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun who's regarded by as many to be the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Woo! Finally has his own comic book series. The brand new original comic details his factor fiction forays into international super spy in the 80s and 90s. The series purports that Flair, who did in fact travel around the world for wrestling matches, was also a secret agent for the U.S. government, using his persona as the ultimate wrestling heel as the perfect cover. Codename Ric Flair. Magic 8 Ball flows one of Flair's missions into late 1980s. I mean, as a wrestling fan, I am absolutely fucking in. I don't know how good this will be, but if I'll tell you what, Nicholas, if Newbury Comics doesn't have this, I will be fucking buying the first issue on Comixology because I have to see what this is all about. But like,
nice.
It just sounds too perfect. Like, oh my god, like that you say that, and I go, oh yeah, of course he's a fucking spy.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun idea. And also, speaking of these first issues from Scout this week, I do try and check out some of their stuff when first issues pop up. But as you said, we don't talk about them a ton on here. All the Devils Are Here does sound interesting, especially when you read the first sentence. Joe is an elderly dementia patient that becomes possessed by a powerful demon. For multiple reasons, that sounds very interesting.
I mean, the dementia patient is actually spot on considering my brain is fucking mush today.
It's like a little eerie today, particularly. But anyways, let's get moving on the rest of this solicit as we're 40 minutes in now. Week of the 12th. Start us off with Marvel, please.
Okay, so we have Moon Knight issue 22. We have X-Men issue 21. We have the Fantastic Four issue 6. We have Miles Morales, Spider-Man issue 5, Carnage issue 12, Captain Marvel issue 48, Storm in the Brotherhood of Mutants issue 3, Star Wars Bounty Hunters issue 33, Star Wars Dr. Aphra issue 30, Star Wars The High Republic issue 8, X-23 Deadly Regenesis issue 2, Silver Surfer Ghostlight issue 3, Predator issue 2, Bloodline, Daughter of Blade, issue 3. And then we have a couple of trade paperbacks as well as several number ones coming out. So we have Ghost Rider, volume 2 coming out in the week of the 12th. Definitely pick that up along with volume 1. You're going to fucking love it. And then Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, the trade paperback. This is the conclusion to Gene Lang's run with the character over at Marvel. He's had 3 arcs. They've all been excellent, right? I'm not a huge Shang-Chi fan. I never read the comics before I decided to do it for the show before the movie came out. I've loved them. They just again, we talk about this all the time. When a writer understands a character, it could really elevate everything you thought about that character, and he turned out some really great books there.
Not always easy to do with these legacy characters. It's one thing when it's your own. That's a totally
right, or characters that people don't really know about. You got to, or care about. You have to find a way to make them interesting or to make them. I mean, the movie definitely helped, but he did a really good job with that. And then the number ones we have this week, we have Guardians of the Galaxy issue 1, written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, with art by Kev Walker. We have Captain America Cold War Alpha part 1, also written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, and also Tochi Onobuchi, with art by Carlos Magno. And this is a continuation of Captain America Sentinel of Liberty issue 11, and then will continue forward into Captain America Symbol of Truth issue 12. So it sounds like this is sort of a one-off in between those two, connecting those two series.
Okay.
And then this fucking title. Okay. So we have Star Wars Return of the Jedi Ewoks issue 1, written by Alyssa Wong, with art by Paulina Gonchao, Casper Wingard, one of my favorite artists, and Lee Garbett. My issue with this, just fucking call it Ewoks. People fucking know. You don't need to put Star Wars and Return of the Jedi. Just Ewoks issue 1. People will fucking get it.
Right? I actually disagree on this one. No, I disagree with you on this one.
What do you mean you fuck you? You do not. All right. And then lastly, we have Marvel Voices, Spider-Verse issue 1, Various and Various. This is a little anthology, and you've got many writers, many artists, all who are very good in their own right. I just didn't feel like fucking typing it out.
Of course. Then we go to DC. We got Superman Lost issue 2 coming out the week of the 12th. Danger Street 5, Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods issue 3, which friend of the show, Chris Scheim, has been enjoying Lazarus Planet, apparently. So we may talk with him about that some point down the line. Batman Incorporated issue 7, Wildcats issue 6, Batman The Adventure Continues season 3 issue 4, Multiversity Harley Screws Up the DCU issue 2, Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries issue 7, and then a couple other trades. Superman Son of Kal-El volume 1, which Joe talked about on the show a while back. Future State Gotham volume 3 out this week. And then we also got a first issue from the Sandman universe, Nightmare Country, The Glass House, written by James Tynion IV and drawn by Lisandro Esterin.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. It's Tynion, not Tynion. Come on, son. Come on.
Did I say Tynion?
Yes.
Wow.
I know. We're trying to get him on the show, Nicholas. That's not going to help.
Did I do that? Wow.
Yeah, you did. You did. It's okay. Everyone gets one. From Image. I was thinking of doing. I was thinking of muting my mic and talking and having you like, what the fuck?
I can still hear out of one ear just fine. Okay.
Yeah. From Image, the week of the 12th, we have Spawn issue 340, Noctera issue 13, 8 Billion Genies issue 8. Have you read that at all?
I think. Yes, I have. I think this is the final issue. I'm pretty sure it's only 8 issues. This has been so good. I really enjoyed it, Billy.
Did you call dibs on it? I can't remember. I haven't read it, but okay, I thought so.
I did. Yep.
Because I was gonna say, if you had one of us has to read. I can't read, Nick. Radiant Black issue 23, Little Monsters issue 12, Phantom Road issue 2, Black Cloak issue 4, The Ambassadors issue 2. I did get my hands on the first issue of that. I haven't read it yet, but I'm very much planning on doing so. All Against All issue 5, written by Alex Pacadell, and again art by Casper Wingard.
Final issue of that.
Yeah, we fucking love this series. The Last Barbarians issue 3, Hexware issue 5, Two Graves issue 6, Monarch issue 3, Stoneheart issue 2, Packlish issue 6, and then we have Vanish Volume 1 trade paperback. If you've been trade waiting this, I don't know why you would, okay? But if you have, buy it, grab it, read it, love it, snuggle it, do whatever you want to it, but make sure you at least read it. It's fantastic.
5th issue came out last month. 6th issue is also coming out this month. So go find a way to grab the 5th one, get the trade, and then get the 6th. This is not a book like you want to trade wait on.
No, this is one you fucking read it. It's that good. And then the number ones from Image, the week of the 12th, we have the Giant. I'm gonna pronounce this the way I'm gonna phonetically sound it out here. The Giant Cockju.
Oh, that is how you say it. Yep. I heard an interview on it. Yep.
Issue 1, written by Jerry Dugan, art by Scott Koblish. And then you want to talk Tynan, baby. Dibs, dibby dibs. World Tree, issue 1. Again, written by James Tynan with art by Fernando Blanco. In 1999, Gabrielle and his friends discovered that the Undernet, a secret architecture to the internet. They charted their exploration on a message board called World Tree 33. Oh, no, World Tree. Sorry. Again, they're using numbers instead of letters there. Whatever. Called World Tree. Then they lost control. Someone broke into World Tree. Someone who welcomed the violent hold on the Undernet had on them. At great personal cost, Gabrielle and the others thought they'd sealed the Undernet away for good. So, yeah, I mean, I'm in. It's Tynan and it's Image and it's number 1. So you can't go wrong there. One of the things I loved about this, though, when I first saw this hyped on Twitter, was it, as with a lot of Tynan's books, many different, variant covers. One of them was a variant cover that looked like a Nice House on the Lake. So at first I go, oh, is this the follow up to that? And no, it's not. But there was some fucking awesome covers for this, so I can't wait to read it.
Nice. And just so everybody knows, it's Gabriel, not Gabrielle. That's not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Gabriel. Yeah.
Well,
I'm having a day, Nicholas.
Sometimes I feel bad. Like sometimes I usually don't want to give a shit to correct you because I don't fucking know.
No, because
this is a fictitious character this time, right?
I'm slipping, man. 41. I'm slipping,
Okay,
I get a physical at the end of the month. I'm sure I'll be put on all sorts of fucking memory meds. And I tell you, we'll the countdown begins. We'll see if Doc makes it to 42.
Oh God, yeah. No, you ain't gonna make it through July. I can already tell you that. From Boom, we got Know Your Station issue 5. We only find them when they're dead. Volume 3 trade paperback also comes out the week of the 12th. And then we do have a first issue from Boom coming out that week. The Seasons Have Teeth, issue 1 by Dan Waters and Sebastian Cabral.
All right. And then the week of the 12th from Dark Horse, we have the Clear issue 2. So this is
issue 3 and 4, right? Technically,
yeah, right, but right. That's Dark Horse. So originally came out on Comixology. This is by Scott Snyder and Francis Manipul, but they're now coming out on print, and so I think they do 2 or 3 issues at a time, right? So, but the Clear issue 2 in print from Dark Horse. Read it, you're gonna love it. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures issue 4, Masters of the Universe Masterverse issue 3, Assassin's Apprentice issue 5, Space Job issue 3. I still have to go back and read the second issue. The first issue of this book was fucking wild. White Savior issue 4, and then we have a couple of trade paperbacks. We have Breakout, the trade paperback for that. The Shock Shop from Cullen Bunn will be out in trade paperback. That was excellent. Pick that up. You'll definitely enjoy that. And then one that I don't know how we missed this, Nicholas, but Elixir, written by Frank Barbary and Ricky Mamone, who we had on the show. It might even be like 2 years ago now. With art by Victor Santos. So how did we miss this? I do not know, but I'm gonna look for it. Either at Newbury Comics or Comixology or possibly the library app there.
Hoopla.
Hoopla.
But I think this was probably just straight to trade. It's probably just
Might
graphic
have been.
novel.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, because we would have seen this, but especially from Dark Horse on a previous solicit. But anyways, and then the number one, the Great British Bump Off, number one, written by John Allison, with art by Max Sarin. And I gotta tell you, I'm a simp for all things the Great British, Bake Off related. So I will definitely be checking this out.
Yeah, that does look does look kind of funny. Let's see. Then we got this. Actually, there's a couple. See, you said it's a thin month, but for number ones, but you got a few first issues that I think are awesome for you. And this one from
The first half of the month much stronger than the second half.
Well, from IDW, we got Star Trek issue 6, Star Trek Defiant issue 2, and then Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo issue 1 from Stan Sakai.
Yeah, so I remember when I saw this on Twitter, and I think I messaged you and I said, but I thought Usagi was going back to Dark Horse, which it is, under the Dogu imprint, which is Stan Sakai's new imprint. And then I realized, oh, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and IDW has the rights to that property, so that's that's why we're seeing it in IDW versus Dark Horse. I'd imagine. But the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pursue the evil cyborg genius Dr. Ware, went through a time portal and emerge into feudal Japan. There, they encounter Usagi Yojimbo 20 years into the samurai's future, but decades after the arrival of Dr. Ware. Ware-Wen, I should say, that's his name, who has already carved himself into a fiefdom using mechanized clockwork samurai robots with the intention of conquering both the past and current timelines. So, two things I love very much: TMNT and Usagi Yojimbo. So 100% in.
That should be fun. You're just gonna have to let me know though if that's something you end up wanting dibs on, or if that's something like kind of like MMP or TMNT, where we can both kind of just have fun as we go along. Which I would assume it's going to be more of the latter, but we'll see. I'll take us through the rest of these, Joe, before we get to the third week of April. Red Zone issue 2 by friend of the show Cullen Bunn and friend of the show, Mike Diodato, kind of. We haven't had him on the show yet, so it's weird saying that, but we've interacted with him quite a bit. We're going to have to change that at some point down the line. From Vault, we have Barbaric Hell to Pay, issue 3. Really enjoy all things Barbaric, and we're getting spin-offs from it. So obviously a very successful series, successful budding universe. West of Sundown, issue 10. Nightfall double feature, issue 3. And End After End, issue 6. From Skybound, we have Dark Ride issue 5 and Chroma issue 4. From Ablaze, we have Prometheus, or is it Promethe?
Promethe, that is correct. Yep.
Okay, Promethe 1313, volume 1, in trade paperback form. And then from Dynamite, 007 for King and Country, issue 1 by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Giorgio Spalletta. From Comixology, you got Dudley Datsun in the Forever Machine, issue 5. That's one I have dibs on. I got to get moving on.
I was like, is that you or is that me?
No, that one's me. And then Retroverse, issue 5, which is from Cullen as well, right?
Correct.
Yep. And then from Mark Millar, we have Nemesis Reloaded, issue 1, which of course is Millar's own imprint, but it goes through Image. And then Aftershock, we have Maniac of New York, Don't Call It a Comeback, issue 2. Then, Joe, we move over to the week of the 19th in April. Starts off with Marvel, please.
Okay, so the week of the 19th, we have The Amazing Spider-Man issue 24, X-Force 39, She-Hulk issue 12, Punisher issue 11, Nightcrawlers issue 3, Star Wars Yoda issues. Just call it Yoda.
They do that with all of them.
No Yoda.
Yeah, they do it with Darth Vader even too. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Red Goblin issue 3, Extreme X-Men issue 5, Hallows Eve issue 2, New Mutants Lethal Legion 2, Bishop War College issue 3, Star Wars Santa Staros issue 3, Hellcat issue 2.
Yeah, no, with Santa Staros, I don't even remember the mentions of the first 2 issues, quite honestly. I was a little thrown by that when I saw. I was like, when I wrote down issue 3, I'm like, where was issue 1 and 2?
I remember
Okay.
you rattling off issues 1 and 2.
All right, so just
yeah. You're the fucking whatever.
You forgot your joke. Good job.
Yeah.
Wow, this is tough.
It's a bad day.
Is the demon possessing you too, Joe? Is that what's going on?
We're gonna fucking we'll let it in post. Hellcat issue 2, the Excellent issue 2, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur issue 5, and then my geriatric ass will take us through the number ones, which there are plenty from Marvel. They're making up for the first 2 weeks by throwing a fucking shit ton at us the week of the 19th. We have Avengers Assemble Omega issue 1. I'm getting really tired of these Omegas and Alphas and all that shit.
Sounds like a true beta to me.
Yeah, please. Avengers Assemble Omega issue 1, written by Jason Aaron with art by Javier Garron. We have Warlock Rebirth issue 1, written by Ron Mars with art by Ron Lim. We have Captain America Unforgiven issue 1, written by Tim Seeley with art by Sid Kachian. This is what I'll definitely be checking out. I'm all in on Tim Seeley right now.
Nice.
And then we have
Captain America Vampire Hunter, by the way.
Yeah, right.
That sounds pretty cool.
100% in. And then we have Rocket Raccoon, Marvel Tales issue 1, written by Bill Montlo with art by Mike Mignola.
Yeah, this is a throwback.
Big.
Yeah, this is a throwback. This is, I think this, if I'm not mistaken, this is from like older issues, and they're doing a few of these.
Yeah, they've been doing that a lot. Yeah. But that's awesome. I love Mignola. And then DC, what do we got there, Nicholas?
Nightwing 103, Flash 797, Batman Superman World's Finest. I forgot to write down the issue number down, but it's the next issue of that.
13 or 14, yeah.
Wonder Woman 798, Superman issue 3, Catwoman 54, Justice Society of America issue 4, Batgirls 17, Deceased War of the Undead Gods issue 8, which is the final issue of that, of course, by Tom Taylor, and then Black Adam issue 10. Then we got a couple of first issues. One is written and drawn by Gustavo Duarte, DC Silent Tales. This is his style of Gustavo brings his style of humor to the DC universe in 6 short stories featuring funny moments in your favorite superheroes' lives. Looks like Harley and Joker were on the cover. That's not necessarily one we are looking to read, but I am going to be checking out Superboy, The Man of Tomorrow, issue 1, written by Kenny Porter and Janoy Lindsay. Connor Kent takes center stage. After the events of Dark Crisis, Connor feels out of place with the rest of the hero community. He doesn't fit in with the rest of the Superman family, and the rest of the world doesn't really need him with so many supers in Metropolis. He doesn't want to rely on Tim, Cassie, and Bart, so Connor looks to the stars as a place he might be able to call his own and carve out his own path. I'm just interested in checking out other Soup stuff right now after reading Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, because obviously that was, I talked about that on the show a little while back, and that was really, really well done, and it's going to be important for DC going forward. So now, knowing that, wondering who else we're going to see in the mix, and I do like Connor Kent's look in the comics too, so interested in checking that one out. But that's it from DC for the third week of April, the week of the 19th. Why don't you take us to Image?
Superman's so hot right now. Image, we have Gunslinger Spawn issue 19, The Scorched issue 17, Rogue Sun issue 12. Yes. Time Before Time issue 22, No One issue 2.
Dude, have you I don't know if we talked about No One already, right? You did catch up on that?
I have not, but I will.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you don't read the second issue by the time, if you don't read the second issue that week, like for that show, I'm calling dibs on you.
Calm your tits.
I'm warning you right now. I am like obsessed with this. The podcast was awesome too. It was so cool. Absolutely loved it.
Well, then take dibs and talk about it on the show, for fuck's sake.
Fuck you, dibs. There we go.
All right, good. Yeah, wow. Save me some time.
Yeah. You're gonna have to wait a long ass time. It's 10 issue limited series. I'm waiting all the way till the end, everybody.
Then we have Ordinary Gods issue 11. The joke's on you. I'm going to forget this whole conversation.
You are. You honestly are. Yeah. If there's ever a time where I'm not going to be annoyed that you forgot a whole conversation that we had, it'll be after this one.
Ordinary Gods issue 11. The Magic Order volume 4. The Forged issue 2. Voyages Immortal Sergeant issue 4, and then we have a couple of number ones, Nicholas. We have Dr. Atomic, The Pipe and the Dope Book issue 1. That sounds like maybe our tag team name, The Pipe and the Dope. Written and drawn by Larry Todd. I won't say who's the pipe and who's the dope, but you can figure it out. And then we have Terror War number 1, written by Saladin Ahmad with art by Dave Acosta. Nicholas, take it away.
Yeah, I am. I'm interested in this one. Looking at the synopsis of this, Eisner-winning writer Saladin Ahmed, who done Miles Morales, and then superstar horror artist Dave Acosta make their Image debut with this sci-fi horror series about working people fighting mind-bending monsters. Blue City was the last livable place on Earth. Now it's crawling with terrors, creatures that transform into their victims' worst fears. So we all know Joe's would be a Chucky doll or bunny mask. Humanity's last hope, Muhammad Cho and his overworked, underpaid crew of freelance terror fighters. We're not heroes, we're contractors. Is their slogan, it seems like. So I'm interested in checking this one out. I don't know if I want to call dibs on it yet. It sounds cool. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Obviously, that's in the third week of the month. From Skybound, we have Summoner's War Awakening, issue 1, written by Justin Jordan with art by Luca Claretti. Then from Boom, Joe, we do have a first issue. I'm curious if you were planning on calling dibs on this one. House of Slaughter, issue 14. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue 107. Horror, which is a book that I called dibs on, and the first 2 issues have been so fucking good. Horror, issue 3. The Vampire Slayer, issue 13. And the one Boom issue 1 that we have out in the week of the 19th is The Expanse, The Dragon Tooth, issue 1 by Andy Diggle and Rubine.
Yeah, so this is based off the TV show, which I never watched.
Okay.
And so, Boom has actually done several Expanse books over the years. So maybe one of these days I'll watch the show and maybe, pick up the books. But this is the rare exception, right? Because this isn't like this is based off a a property that's already well known. So yeah, probably not.
Right. Totally makes sense. Why don't you take us through Dark Horse, though?
All right, so from Dark Horse, the week of the 19th, we have Order and Outrage, issue 2, Star Wars, The High Republic Adventures. You didn't number it,
No.
so that's on you. Oh,
actually, no, that's the name.
Oh, God damn it,
Oh,
Nicholas. Don't put the fucking dashes, you fucking dolt. I hate
That's on me. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you've complained about that before with the dashes. That was a legit copy and paste job. So that's Comixology is how they do it, but I will adjust moving forward. My apologies.
Strike that, reverse it. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures, The Nameless Terror, issue 2, and then Dark Horse has an issue 1 dropping this week. All 8 Eyes, issue 1, written by Steve Fox with art by Peter Kowalski. All 8 Eyes take readers back to the forgotten corners of post 9/11 New York City, where college dropout Vince Spencer floats through life in a drug and party fueled haze until one terrible night sweeps him into a drifter's reckless war against a giant 8-legged horse stalking the city's most vulnerable residents. So we've talked about this before. Dark Horse is very sneakily moving up the list with issue 1s. Read them. So this definitely has piqued my interest, and I'm going to give it a look.
Yeah, it does sound like a cool one. I think this is a good call on your part. From IDW, we have Sonic the Hedgehog issue 59, TMNT, The Armageddon Game, The Alliance issue 6, My Little Pony, Best of Twilight Sparkle issue 1. Are you shaking your head at how I wrote that, or are you shaking your head at the name?
The fucking dashes. Fucking Christ.
I'm done with that. I'm done with it. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's problematic when we get these long ass titles and you can't use a colon twice. So that's maybe make short titles. I don't know. It's a hot take. I know. From AWA, probably the best AWA title that there's ever been.
Fuck off.
Your favorite. The Black Tape, issue 3, out the week of the 19th. Why don't you take us through the rest of the actually, no, I'll take us through because you got to lead us off with Marvel. I need you to catch your breath. From Valiant, Exo Man of War, Unconquered, issue 2. Titan, Kamen Rider, 01, issue 4. Moriarty, Clockwork Empire, issue 3, which Joe is reading.
Tremendous.
Ablaze, we have The Mighty Barbarians, issue 1, which is written by Michael Morisi, who is doing Barbaric for Vault. So that's an interesting move on his part. And then the artist on this series is Giuseppe Cafaro. From Dynamite, we got Gargoyles, issue 5, Darkwing Duck, issue 4, Purgatory Must Die, issue 4, and then Deja Thoris, issue 2. Comixology, we have The Book of Evil, issue 3, and Canary, issue 6. So those two are both coming to an end. And I've been enjoying both of those books. So quite a few titles for me that are going to be wrapping up. So I'm know we try and book as many Fireside Chats as we can, but I am definitely going to be backloaded with stuff to talk about for main lines, which usually is, well, anyways. Source Point Press, we have Nightwalkers issue 4, which I believe that's a Cullen Bunn series, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe
and then The Curse of Cleaver County issue 2, Zombicide Day 1 issue 4, Deep Dark issue 2, Ben Mortara and the Thieves of the Golden Table issue 2, and then Franklin and Ghost issue 1 by Garrett Gunn and Nick Torres.
Not
All
Franklin and Bash.
Yeah. God, who was that? Was that Breckenmeyer and Zach Morris? Am I remembering that correctly? Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell? I think it's right? Yeah.
That's going to be our next podcast, me and Billy.
That's right. I watched a lot of TBS and obviously, TNT, same family.
USA. Right? Is it Franklin Bash USA? Oh, maybe it was. I can't remember what it
was. Anyways, take us through Marvel for the week of the 26th. I'll figure out this Franklin Bash fiasco.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Doing yeoman's work. All right. So wrapping up the month of April on the 26th from Marvel, we have Daredevil issue 10, Thor issue 33, Hulk 14, Darth Vader issue 33, Deadpool issue 6, The Invincible Iron Man issue 5, Doctor Strange issue 2, Mary Jane and Black Cat issue 5, Dr. Aphra issue 31, Strange Academy Finals issue 6, Wasp issue 4, Venom Lethal Protector issue 2, Betsy Braddock Captain Britain issue 3, Monica Rambeau issue 5, Avengers Beyond issue 2, Clobbering Time issue 2, and then we have again a buttload of issue 1s. We have Alien 1, written by friend of the show Declan Shalvey with art by Andrea Bucardo. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Bane of Blastar issue 1, written by Ralph Macchio. My Karate Kid.
Yes.
With art by David Tinto. And then we have Miracle Man Marvel Tales issue 1, written by Mark Angelo with art by Steve Dillon. Mm-hmm. And then we have Darth Vader Black, White, and Red issue 1, written by various, including Jason Aaron and Peach Momoko. Artists, I'm assuming, is also various. This is again another one of, we talked about this earlier. It's a little anthology series. This one involving Darth Vader and Star Wars. So I'll definitely check this out. These books typically aren't my cup of tea. I want to grab something, I want to read it, and I want to move on to issue 2, and I want to have a nice singular story. But there are good stories within these books, so I'll definitely check this one out.
I like these quite a bit because they are all singular stories, and it's a nice way to kind of get to know some new creators in the course of it all too. Like, you never know who's going to pop up in the mix. But I hear you. Like, these aren't necessarily for everybody, but for someone who's not read Darth Vader comics, I'm very excited to check this out. And then we also got Sins of Sinister Dominion issue 1 by Kieran Gillen and Pace Medina. This is not a first issue. I believe this is the finale for the Mr. Sinister event, which has been awesome. 7 trillion deadly sins, 1,000 years of hell and damnation comes to end with the loudest scream in history. And for the truly guilty, there is no escape. Can the future change the present? Or will we just make all the same mistakes again? Either way, the present will have to live with the future's sins. I've been enjoying the Mr. Sinister series, so I'm very excited to check this one out, and Kieran's stuff especially throughout the event. Then from DC, we got Detective Comics 1071, Action Comics 1054, Harley Quinn 29, The Riddler Year 1 issue 4, which Joe has dibs on, Unstoppable Doom Patrol issue 2, Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods, issue 4, Blue Beetle, Graduation Day, issue 6, which I may try and see if I can find a way to read some Blue Beetle before that movie comes out, which I believe is in August. Because that trailer, did you check out the trailer for that?
I have not, but
it's promising.
What's the goddamn point? It's not going to be part of the fucking universe going forward.
If it does well, they'll find a way to fit him in.
Yeah. You know what? Strike that. Reverse it. I'm being a cranky old man. I should watch it and enjoy it for what it is, just a good movie.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I agree.
See, look, I just grew on the show. That's as a human. I just grew.
I am so proud of you. Not just here's the thing. Don't forget it. Batman Audio Adventures issue 6, DCRWBY issue
It's
3.
really becoming a problem, Nicholas.
This is why I write everything down. Like my notes, like if I don't have my notes thing on my phone, I'd be a mess. So I hear you on forgetting stuff. And then the one first issue that's coming out from DC in the final week of the month is one I've been waiting for a while. Green Arrow issue 1, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Sean Izaski. I don't think I said Sean's last name right. I apologize. The Emerald Archer is lost, and it will take Oliver Queen's whole family to find him. But dangerous forces are determined to keep them apart at any cost. Spinning out of Dark Crisis of Infinite Earths, Green Arrow by DC architect Joshua Williamson and artist Sean Izaki is, again, saying that incorrectly, I apologize, is an action-packed adventure across the DCU that sets the stage for major stories in 2023. I will definitely make sure to read this before that week's episode because I do want to give the people a good understanding of what to expect because like I've been excited about it, the cover and everything like that, and the art looks good, and Joshua Williamson, and I've been, I like some more, Oliver Queen focused stuff. So anyways, take us through Image, please.
All right. So we have from Image Saga issue 64, Vanish issue 6. What's the furthest place from here? Issue 12. Image issue 12. Philadelphia issue 30. Nicholas. This is the book I am looking forward to the most this month. There's a lot of good books that we talked about. This is the one that I can't wait to read. Lovesick issue 7, The Ambassadors issue 3, Local Man issue 3, Plush issue 6, Kaya issue 7, Dead Romans issue 2, Indigo Children issue 2, Torrent issue 3, and then with the number 1 from Image this week is Deep Cuts issue 1, written by Kyle Higgins with art by Joe Clark. New Orleans 1917, in the city's busting red light district. That's all I need. That should be all anyone needs to want to read this book. But actually, Kyle Higgins should be, the main reason why you picked this book up. But a young clarinet player lands a job with his hero, but he'll soon discover there's more to music business than playing the right notes. Again, Higgins is writing it. Should be great. I'm looking forward to that. Nothing from Skybound that week, and then from Boom, I just stole a little bit here from you, but that's okay. We have Grimm issue 10, Behold Behemoth issue 5, Neighbors issue 2, and Dune House of Harkonnen issue 4. That's a great week from Boom right there.
Yeah, it really is. And by the way, I picked up the first trade of Grimm. I don't know if that'll be what I talk about next on in our next trade in 2026. But I definitely am. I'm excited to check that one out. And also, just a real quick circle back on Deep Cuts too. I don't know if you said this. I don't think you did. It looks like it's a 6-issue limited series, but they're double length issues as well.
Yes.
So for anybody looking for like a concise story too, I know that sometimes is appealing. We look over to Dark Horse. We got Blue Book issue 3, of course, written by James Tynion. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures issue 5. Dragon Age: The Missing issue 4. Have you checked out any of the Dragon Age stuff yet? Because I know you were kind of interested.
I did a while ago, but I haven't read a Dragon Age book in some time, unfortunately.
Okay. And then this one I'm a little interested in checking out just because of the artist on this. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures, Quest of the Jedi issue 1, written by Claudia Gray with art by Fico Ossio. And Fico Ossio does some really, really cool shit. This is he was the artist on No One Left to Fight, which Aubrey Sigerson was the writer for, and I really enjoyed that series. And then and he did some Miracle Man stuff for DC. I really like his style, so I think I'm going to give this one a look. It looks like we're dealing with it's High Republic, so it's more Jedis that we're not necessarily familiar with. So we'll see how that looks. Do you want to take the rest of the way and finish this off, Joe?
Yeah, why not? Not a lot left here. Not a lot left here. I can't even fucking.
Sure
I can't even talk. I don't know. I'm just gonna.
You can do it.
Oh, I meant to have a little glass of bourbon for our friend of the show, Adam Burt, my man, got himself a job, and proud of him. It's like a son. So, but I forgot the bourbon, so I can't even fucking remember to drink.
Oh, he's like he's our number one fan on Twitch, isn't he?
Bert's a good dude. Bert's a good dude. We love Bert.
Mm.
From IDW, we have TMNT issue 139. We have TMNT, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years, issue 3. Meh. Sonic the Hedgehog, issue 60. TMNT, The Armageddon Game, issue 7. Star Trek, issue 7. Dungeons and Dragons, Saturday Morning Adventures, The Dead. No. Okay, you forgot to put the number here for sure, because this is the second issue for that, because we talked about this
Yep.
last week in What's New. Come on,
Yep.
you're killing me, Nicholas.
Yep.
Dead Seas, issue 5 from AWA.
Before you go further, just sorry to cut you off. Sonic the Hedgehog, I didn't think of this till right now. Sonic the Hedgehog, I mentioned this a while back. I think that I got some Sonic comics for my nephew. So he's about to turn 9. If you have a young like relative or like a son, daughter who like the Sonic movies and wants more Sonic stuff, he crushed that stuff. So, and I'm definitely gonna be purchasing them more, over time. So, just something to keep in mind for anybody who's like, oh, what's a good book to get, a younger reader into? Sonic the Hedgehog seems to be a good way to get that going.
All right, sounds great. From
You.
AWA, we have Trojan issue 4. I can't say enough awesome things about this series. It seems to be a bit of a light month from AWA. But between Black Tape and Trojan and Red Zone, those are 3 absolute, well, 2 of which I could speak of are absolute bangers. And you and AWA like to remind me that I'm not reading Black Tape and just how fucking awesome it is. But 3 great series going on from AWA right now. From Vault, we have Door by Door, Night by Night, issue 5, which I believe is the finale to that series, written by Cullen Bunn. I've enjoyed it very much. I'm not sure. I could have just made that up. But could be. And then we have Money Shot Comes Again, issue 1. Again, written. Yeah, Money Shot Comes Again. So, written by Tim Seeley with art by Giselle Legay. So I believe this is the 3rd arc or the 3rd, of this. So Money Shot came out a few years ago. Again, written by Tim Seeley and originally by Sarah Beatty. And I read the first few issues of this, and you want to talk about just like having a book that's perpetually in the gutter. That's this book, man. And it's absolutely fucking wild, and overtly sexual. If you couldn't tell from the title, so I would not have your 9-year-old nephew read this book.
Okay, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I would have screwed that up.
Yeah. But so if you're a fan of the series, it continues on. If you hadn't read it, you not offended by such things, then I would check it out for sure. And lastly, from Ablaze Comics, we have Lovecraft Unknown issue 8, and that, Nicholas, brings us to the end of April. Those are all the books that are fit to read. There are a lot more, but we just you can't type them all, can't read them all. But these are the books from the studios that we know, love, and trust, and we hope y'all check them out and enjoy them.
Yep, and just to circle back on what we mentioned earlier, I was correct. It is Mark Paul Gosselaar and Breckin Meyer who were.
And let me guess, and it was TNT.
Yeah, TNT.
Ah, yes. See, it's all coming back.
that actually had 4 seasons to it, and I thought you guys were doing Rizzoli and Isles. I'm totally thrown by all this.
Yeah, we keep going back and forth. It's going to be all USA shows. So Rizzoli and Isles, Suits, Royal Pains. Yeah, maybe it is. I don't. Nick, we've learned something today. I'm a mental patient today.
At least
my brain is Swiss cheese, and I don't even know where I am right now.
Well, do me this favor. Until next week, stay sexy.
I'll probably forget to do that.